So a couple of days ago, I went to see Black Panther, and it was a movie for sure. Now, Black Panther is about the prince turned king of the fictional country of Wakanda. Um, Character was previously featured in Captain America: Civil War, and this is his first solo film. Um, First, I'll talk about what I liked about a film. I thought half the music was good, the other half was generic Marvel fare, but the other half was good. It was, had some nice traditional sounding drums in there, some nice vocals in there. Something that I think a lot of people are missing out when talking about this film is the fictional tech in this film is rad. It's really cool. The designs and stuff and the way everything looks is really cool. Like the suit, awesome. Love the design and the way that works, even though largely doesn't make sense if from like a scientific standpoint. I I can kind of forgive how mysterious vibranium is. It just seems to be able to do everything. I don't really mind that too much. The story was kind of well written, even though because it sort of kept me guessing. Whenever I thought, oh well, this is what's going to happen next, it always threw a curveball at me. And the action scenes. A lot of people say they're just generic action scenes. I thought they were really good action scenes. They kind of stood out to me, like the especially the one in Korea, which I think there's a clip off online. The one in Korea really was good. I mean, the indoors bit and then the car chase. I liked them both. They were both good. Least favorite scene in film would be when Shuri, T'Challa, the Black Panther's sister, is explaining how his suit works. I feel like if you took that scene out, then it could have been then her saying, "Your suit has been taking kinetic energy," during the South Korea car chase. That would have been enough explanation about how it takes in kinetic energy. The bit before wasn't needed. And that scene's generally just really slow and takes too long and contains the worst jokey, referencey joke in the whole film. Almost all the jokes aren't very good. That's my first bad thing. Almost all the jokes aren't very good. Second thing, it's kind of generic, just a kind of another Marvel movie. Felt a lot like a Thor kind of story. You know, he's like a prince and in a mysterious place. Country. The main thing that I didn't like about the film was actually the two main characters. Even though they were really well acted, and they were probably the two best performances in the whole film, I feel like from a writing perspective, they both weren't explored to their fullest. T'Challa could have had this whole warrior versus king dynamic going on with his character. Like, is he warrior or is he going to be a level-headed ruler? And another one is the weight, holding the tradition throughout the whole film until really the end. He sort of holds out on the tradition of his culture, and there could have been the weight of that. That could have been some. The one of the most visually memorable scenes takes place in like the realm of the dead or a realm of ancestors or something, and it's memorable, but it's not used to its fullest extent. It's used to sort of just have him have conversations with his father, and that's it. It could have been used to show some really cool symbols. Like I had an idea for one where sort of you have his father put his hand on T'Challa's shoulder, and then you see the hands of all his other ancestors resting on his shoulder and pulling him down, sort of showing this weight that being king comes with. But I didn't make the movie, so I shouldn't be making decisions like that. And Killmonger is the other one who I didn't think was well enough explored. It didn't explore his sort of like the defining attribute of his character, how he makes his decisions, this thing about him that he holds on to the past because he never had, closure on certain things to do with his character. And he blames people for the sins of their ancestors. That's his major thing. He blames T'Challa for what T'Challa's father does, and he blames the people in America or what have you, the people where he grew up, for the oppression that happened a long time ago. He blames people in the present for things that happened in the past. And that could have been explored a bit further, I think, but maybe they just ran out of time. It is a 2 hours and 15 minutes movie, so maybe they just didn't have the time to explore these two characters to their fullest extent. That was my major gripe. Those two characters had potential that wasn't fully realized. I feel like it's sort of necessary to say that this isn't a political film. A lot of people are politicizing this film and saying that the color of the major characters is important at all to the film. It's not really. They don't draw attention to it really in the film. And when they do, it makes sense. Like Killmonger, he grew up in an area and a time where in America race relations were still a bit strange. So, it makes sense for his character, but the other characters don't express that because they've never experienced it, and that makes sense. At the end, there's two post-credit sequences, and during the first one, T'Challa gives this speech about building bridges, not barriers, and I think I really liked that speech. It was a really well done speech, and I think it wasn't the obvious sort of comparison would be, Donald Trump, right-wing people, build a wall, but I think it's important to use the word barrier. Or I think the word barrier was the word he used. He didn't use wall. I think that's an important one because barriers are just physical. I think that's important. I think everyone can listen to can take a little something from that. That's what I'll say on the politicization of it. It's not a political film. One of the things I liked about it was that it had these really awesome female guards for the royal guards. They're all female, but it never draws attention to it, which is the right way to do that. A lot of films fall into the trap of sort of having it just as a talking point, and they'll go, there'll be like an old white guy who goes, "Oh, you're a woman, you shouldn't be doing that, sweetie cupcake," and then she'd be like, "No, I must." Wonder Woman did that a lot, like 3 separate times. It's just not needed. If you're going to do that, make it subtle, and Black Panther does it subtly. And it fits because it doesn't detract from the movie. And he has some badass women. So that's, again, all I'll say on politicization. Overall, the film is as good as it needs to be. I'd say it's a welcome addition to the Marvel canon. Fun action. Interesting enough characters. But it's nothing special. Just another Marvel movie, really. So for me, I'd say it gets a green star. Green star. Green star. Fab.
Some people call me the space cowboy.
See you in the next one.